Look, if you're a law firm owner spending money on ads right now, I need you to hear me out because this is probably going to sting a little bit. But I promise by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why your marketing feels like it's not working, even though you're doing everything right. So here's what I see all the time. You're dropping $5,000, $10,000, maybe even $20,000 a month on Google Ads, Facebook, LSAs, all of it. And the leads are coming in. Your dashboard looks beautiful. You're sitting there thinking, okay, we're getting traction here. But then you look at how many people actually signed with your firm at the end of the month, and something just doesn't add up. The math isn't mathing, as the kids say. And today I want to walk you through exactly what's happening to those leads, where they're going, and honestly, why it's probably not your fault, but it is definitely your problem. So let's dive in. Here's the thing that most law firm owners don't realize. On average, you're losing somewhere between 50 and 70% of your inbound leads. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, okay, well, those must be bad leads. The ads are attracting tire kickers, people who aren't serious. But that's not it. These are qualified people who need a lawyer and have money to pay you. The problem is what happens after they click your ad. Let me paint you a picture because I want you to really feel this. It's Tuesday night. It's like 8:47 p.m. There's a woman named Sarah sitting on her couch, and she is stressed out of her mind. She got into a car accident 3 days ago. The insurance company called her earlier today, and now she's confused. She's overwhelmed, she's in pain, and she's scared she's going to get screwed over. So she picks up her phone and she types into Google, "car accident lawyer near me." Your ad pops up. And honestly, it's a great ad. You paid good money for that ad. The headline is strong, the copy is compelling. It speaks directly to her problem. She clicks it. She lands on your website. She fills out the contact form because in her mind she's thinking, okay, I did it. I took action. Someone's going to help me now. She actually feels a little bit of relief in that moment. But here's what's actually happening on your end. That form submission hits your CRM. It fires off an automated email to your intake coordinator. And your intake coordinator is great at her job, but she left the office at 5:30 because she has a life. So that email is just sitting there in her inbox while Sarah is sitting on her couch, thinking someone's going to call her any minute now. Fast forward to the next morning. Your intake coordinator walks in at 9. She's got her coffee, she opens up her email, and she sees 17 new leads that came in overnight. 17. And she's good, so she starts working through them methodically. She gets to Sarah's form around 10:30 in the morning. She picks up the phone, she dials Sarah's number, and it rings, and it rings, and it goes to voicemail. So she leaves a really nice professional voicemail saying, "Hey, Sarah, this is Jennifer from Smith & Associates. I got your inquiry about your car accident. Really want to help you. Give me a call back when you get a chance." Here's what you don't know. Sarah didn't just fill out your form last night. She filled out 4 other forms because that's what people do now. They're on their phone, they're clicking through Google results, they're filling out multiple forms because they want options. And here's the kicker. One of those other firms she submitted to has a system that responded to her in literally 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Someone reached out, asked her some questions, understood her situation, and booked her for a consultation the next day. So by the time your intake coordinator is leaving that voicemail at 10:30, Sarah has already had a 20-minute consultation with another attorney, and she's ready to sign with them. And I know this hurts to hear, but this is happening in your practice right now, multiple times a week. You're paying for leads that are qualified, that need your help, that would be great clients, and they're just evaporating into thin air. There's actually a term for this in the legal industry. It's called speed to lead. And the research on this is absolutely brutal. If you respond to a lead within 5 minutes, you are 100 times more likely to actually qualify and convert that lead compared to waiting 30 minutes. Let me say that again because it's wild. Waiting 30 minutes doesn't make you slightly less likely to get the client. It makes you 100 times less likely. That's not a small difference. That's the difference between building a thriving practice and sitting there wondering why your marketing agency sucks. And look, I get it. You're busy. You're in court, you're meeting with clients, you're actually practicing law. You can't be glued to your phone, waiting for form submissions to come in. That's not realistic, and honestly, it's not a good use of your time. But the problem is your potential clients don't care about your schedule. They need help right now, and whoever responds first is going to get their business. So let's talk about what this is actually costing you, because I think when you see the numbers, it's going to click. Let's say you're spending $10,000 a month on advertising, and you're generating about 100 leads. Your cost per lead is around $100, which is pretty standard for personal injury or family law in a competitive market. Now let's say your intake team is actually really good, and they're able to reach about 40% of those leads within the first day. That's honestly above average, so if you're hitting that, good for you. But that means 60 leads are just gone. They never had a real conversation with your firm. And here's the painful part. Most of those 60 people were qualified. They needed a lawyer. They had a case. They just hired someone else because that someone else was faster. So you just spent $6,000 on leads that went nowhere. That's $72,000 a year in wasted ad spend. And that's not even counting the revenue you lost from cases you didn't sign. That's just the money you spent on ads. And here's what makes this even more frustrating. Consumer behavior has completely changed over the last few years. People expect immediate responses now. When someone fills out a form, they're not thinking, I'll wait until business hours tomorrow. They're thinking, I need help and I need it now. And because of that, they're not just sitting around waiting for you to call them back. They're actively reaching out to multiple firms at the same time. Your potential clients are comparison shopping in real time. The first firm that responds, builds rapport, understands their situation, and books them for a consultation is the firm that wins. It really is that simple, and your competitors know this. The firms that are growing right now, the ones that are dominating your market, they're not better lawyers than you, they're just faster. So what do most firms try to do to solve this? Let's talk about what doesn't work, because I see this all the time. Option 1 is hiring more intake staff. You're thinking, okay, the problem is leads coming in after hours, so let's hire someone to cover nights and weekends. But now you're paying salary and benefits for someone to basically sit there waiting for the phone to ring. It's expensive, and honestly, it's kind of soul-crushing for the person doing it. Option 2 is using a legal answering service. And look, these can help with basic stuff, but they can't actually qualify leads the way you need them to. They can't answer specific questions about your practice. They can't build rapport. And they definitely can't book consultations into your calendar in a way that makes sense with your actual availability. So you end up with a bunch of half-qualified leads that still require a ton of follow-up. Option 3 is better CRM alerts. Some firms set up text notifications or Slack pings so they know immediately when a lead comes in. This is better than nothing, but it still requires you to stop whatever you're doing, reach out to the lead, have a conversation, go back and forth on scheduling, and eventually book the appointment. It's still manual and it's still slow. None of these solutions actually solve the core problem, which is that qualifying and booking leads needs to happen immediately, 24/7, and most firms just can't staff for that reality without losing their minds or going broke. So what's the actual solution? The firms that are crushing it right now are using AI-powered intake systems, and I'm not talking about some janky chatbot on your website that asks 3 generic questions and then says someone will call you soon. I'm talking about sophisticated AI that can actually have real conversations with potential clients, qualify them based on your specific criteria, answer their questions, and book consultations directly into your calendar without any human involvement. Here's how this actually works in practice. Someone fills out your form at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday. Within 2 minutes, they get a text message. The AI system starts asking them questions, but it's conversational. It feels natural. Tell me about your situation. When did this happen? Have you spoken with any other attorneys? It's back and forth like a real conversation. The AI qualifies the lead based on parameters you set. Case type, jurisdiction, timeline, whatever matters for your practice. If it's a good fit, the AI explains what the next steps are and offers to book a consultation. It pulls up your calendar, shows available times, and books them in. The lead gets a confirmation text with all the details. The entire thing happens in under 5 minutes. The lead feels completely taken care of. They're not filling out 3 more forms for your competitors because you already captured them. And meanwhile, you were asleep, or you were in court, or you were having dinner with your family. The system handled all of it without you lifting a finger. You wake up the next morning, look at your calendar, and you've got 3 new consultations booked with full conversation history, so you can actually prep for the calls. That's the difference between firms that are thriving right now and firms that are struggling. It's not about working harder. It's about having systems that work while you're not. Look, here's the bottom line. You're already paying for leads. The ads are doing their job. The problem is the gap between when someone expresses interest and when you actually engage with them. That gap is where all your money is disappearing. Fixing this isn't about being a better lawyer or working longer hours. It's about eliminating that gap entirely. And AI intake automation isn't some futuristic thing. This is what top firms are using right now to dominate their market. If you're serious about actually converting the leads you're paying for, you need to solve this problem. And honestly, the only realistic way to do that is with automation. If you want to see exactly how this works, I'll drop a link in the description where you can check out a demo. But whether you do that or not, just understand this. Your competitors are already doing this. And every single day you wait is another day you're losing cases to firms that are just faster than you are. Thanks for watching. If this was helpful, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.